Now that we've reviewed some basic properties of exponents, let's learn what an exponential function is and what the graph of an exponential function looks like. So our basic definition here is that any function that looks like a to the x, so that's any number raised to the x power, is going to be called an exponential function. Now there's a couple caveats. We want to make sure that that number is positive, so we don't want something weird like -3 to the x. And we also want to make sure that that number is not 1, because that would not be very interesting. Okay, 1 to the x, well, 1 raised to any power is just 1, so that's not very exciting. So the number that we have in the bottom, say it's 2 to the x or 5 to the x, that number on the bottom is called the base. So anytime we refer to the base of an exponential function, that's just that number a. So what I want us to do is to just try by hand, seeing if we can graph this function, 2 to the x. Okay, so we've got a little table of values here. We could do each of these by hand. So for example, 2 to the third power is 8, 2 squared is 4, and 2 to the 1 is 1, or 2, sorry. Taking advantage of some of our properties of exponents, if you raise something to the 0 power, it gives you 1. If you raise something to a negative power, it's just 1 over 2 raised to that power. So 1 over 2, this is 1 over 2 squared, this is 1 over 2 cubed. So we've just kind of filled in a table of values here, and we're going to take advantage of each of these to go ahead and graph it. So -3, 1/8, it's like down there-ish. -2, 1/4, -1, 1/2, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 4, and 3, 8. So if I connect my dots here, drawing it as best as I can, doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm just trying to get the right idea here. And it looks something like this. The further we go, the steeper that line is. Okay, and it turns out that even though this was just one specific exponential function we graphed with a base of 2, all exponential graphs are going to follow the same basic pattern. So the one that we just had is a good example of when your base is bigger than 1. Okay, they'll always look like that same shape we just had, and they'll go through the point 0, 1, because anything raised to the 0 power is 1. On the other hand, if your base is something smaller than 1, so maybe something like 1/2 or 0.3 or 0.9, anytime your base is smaller than 1, instead your graph is going to go down very steeply and then level out as time goes on. Regardless though, it's still going to go through the point 0, 1, and that's because again, anything raised to the 0 power just gets you 1. So in this video we defined what an exponential function is, and then we graphed one by hand and talked about how that fits in the broader pattern of exponential functions being graphed in general.